Hello, my name is Sebastian and today we'll go over the task force radio. You use your radio to communicate with your teammates and other teams in the game. To bring up your personal radio, press Ctrl P. There's a radio on your screen now. It says Harris, or Happis in this case. On this radio, you'll see on the top, you'll have a knob that says decrease volume and increase volume. To use this, use your left and right mouse button to change the volume. Further, you'll have a screen in the middle of your radio. This is your current frequency and current channel. It would say something like Charlie 1 and then a number. Below this screen you'll have several buttons which you can interact with. These are clear frequency, set frequency, next channel, previous channel, speakers, set additional channel, and stereo settings. The first thing we're going to learn is how to set a new frequency on your channel, on your radio. So, you can see that you can press your mouse button on the screen. You can highlight the entire number, and you can use backspace to delete it. You can also fill in numbers using the numbers on your keyboard. I want you now to change to 40.1. To set this frequency, you have to find the button that says set frequency on enter. Once you press that, you get a sound effect, and this is your new current frequency. To exit your radio, press escape. To use the radio in game, you have to press and hold caps lock as you speak. You'll see a box on your bottom right that says the radio type you have, and it should be transmitting once you hold it down. It also says what channel you're on, and it should say 40.1. When we talk on the radio, you'll get this sound, and when I close the radio transmission, you'll have this sound effect. You can now go into your radio again. When we play Arma, you might have different teams on different channels. So if you go down to pre and set next channel, you'll see that the current channel changes from Charlie 1 to Charlie 2, and you'll have a new number. This number you can change, and I want you to change it to 40.2. Followed by pressing set frequency on the enter button. You can now exit your radio.
Radio check.
Loud and clear. You now have two channels set on your radio. That's channel 1, that's 40.1, and channel 2, that's 40.2. To change between your channels quickly, you can use the numpad on your keyboard. 1 for the channel 1, 2 for channel 2, and so on. But say that you want to listen to two channels and speak on two channels. Well, this is where the set additional channel comes in. If you go into your radio, you should see a button that says set additional channel on the bottom. It should be the left arrow key on the radio. To set an additional channel, you need to choose the channel you want to listen to. In this case, you want to listen to channel 2, which is 40.2. So, once you've chosen channel 2, you press Set Additional Channel. You'll see that the number changes from Charlie 2 to Alpha 2. It means additional 2. If you now change back to channel 1, you should see the box on the bottom right corner says additional channel equals 2. This means that you'll now be listening to both channels, and you can transmit on both channels. To transmit on your secondary channel, you have to press and hold down T to transmit on that channel. Now you know how to transmit and listen to two channels at once. You can now go back into your radio. The next feature we're going to look at is speakers. There's a button on the radio that says speakers. If you press that, you'll see headphones and speakers. If you have it set to headphones, only you can listen to your radio. Once you set it to speakers, other people around you will hear your radio transmissions or incoming radio transmissions. The other thing we can look at is stereo settings on the radio. It should be on the bottom left. When you press the stereo settings, you'll see it changes from left only to right only and left and right. This is where you will hear the different radio transmissions on which air. So if we now set it to left only and you get a transmission on your main channel, you'll only hear that transmission on your left air. So go ahead and set it to left air and I'll send you a radio transmission. Viking, this is Odin. How copy over?
This is Viking, solid copy.
You should now have listened that you only get the transmission on your left ear. If you change it to right ear, you'll only have it there. Left and right means both. It could be wise to change your alternate channel to your right ear and your primary channel to both ears or left. The other feature we can look at is the clear frequency feature. On the top right, you'll see clear frequency. If you want to change the frequency fast, you can just press that button, and the numbers should go away on channel 1. You can now just enter the channel you want. In this case, just 40.1, and then set frequency. That covers the radio, but now we need to talk about the voice volume. In this game, you can only hear the people who are around you unless you're on the radio. You have different ways to setting your voice volume. To do that, you press Ctrl and Tab. If you hold down Ctrl and press Tab, you'll see it changes from normal to yelling to whispering. Depending on what voice volume you have, you can only hear people at certain distances. So, if you have it on whisper, people won't be able to hear you if they're far away from you. If you have it to normal, they should hear you within 10 to 15 meters. And if you have it to yelling, people can hear you at a further distance. Now, we can take a look at your long-range radio. To open your long-range radio, press Alt and P. can see that this radio looks quite different, but it works in the exact same way. In the middle, you'll have a screen saying channel 1, current channel, and a number, that's your current frequency. To change this, you can also interact with your mouse button and highlight the number and change it with the numbers on your keyboard. To change quickly between channels, you can use the next channel button or previous channel button. Which are located on the arrow up and arrow down beneath the screen itself. If you want to change volumes on this radio, is on the top left knob, decrease and increase volume. On the keypad you'll find a key lock that's set additional channel, which works the same way. Stereo settings, that also works the same. You have the clear frequency, your set frequency, and your speakers. Now you can change your current frequency on channel 1 to 70.1, followed by menu set frequency. If you exit your radio, you can transmit by holding down Control and caps lock. You'll have a different sound effect.
Then this is Viking, radio check over.
Viking, this is Odin, you're loud and clear over.
Subtle copy, Viking out.
When we talk on the radio, you would have listened that we use code names. In Viking ADC we have fire teams as Viking 1 and 2, and we will have a command element like Odin. When you send the transmission, you start with saying who's calling, or you'll say who you're reaching. You'll say Odin, this is Viking 1. All vehicles in this game, most of them, have built-in long-range radios. To use them, you also use the Control caps lock if you do not have a long-range radio on your body. This concludes the Task Force radio, and I hope you can use this in a professional manner. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next lesson.